You know what you should do. Exercise. Start the project. Make the call. Have the difficult conversation. You know it would help. You know it matters. And yet, you don't do it. Worse, you actively sabotage yourself. You procrastinate until it's too late. You pick fights right before something important. You quit right before breakthrough. This isn't laziness. This isn't lack of discipline. This is something deeper. Philosophers have a word for it. The ancient Greeks called it Akrasia. Weakness of will. Knowing the good, but doing otherwise. And for 2,000 years, the greatest minds have tried to explain why. Why we sabotage ourselves. Why we act against our own interests. Why we're our own worst enemy. The answer isn't simple, but once you understand it, you can't unsee it.
Let's start 2,400 years ago. Athens. Plato is watching people do something strange. They know what's right. They want what's right. And they don't do it. So Plato proposes something radical. You are not one thing. You are divided. He says the soul has three parts, not metaphorically, structurally. Three voices, three forces, each pulling in a different direction. First, reason. Reason thinks long-term. It plans. It calculates consequences. Reason knows. It says, exercise. It's good for you. Start the project. It matters. Make the call. You'll regret it if you don't. Reason sees the whole arc of your life. Second, appetite. Appetite wants comfort. Now, immediately. Food, rest, pleasure, avoidance of pain. Appetite doesn't care about tomorrow. It cares about how you feel right now. It says, stay in bed. Don't start. It'll be uncomfortable. Avoid the risk. Appetite isn't stupid. It's ancient and it's powerful. Third, spirit. The part of you that cares about pride, about dignity, about who you are. Spirit says, be better. Prove yourself. Live up to something. Spirit can help reason, but it can also collapse. It can be wounded, exhausted, afraid. And these three parts, reason, appetite, spirit, are constantly in conflict. Plato's image is brutal. A chariot. Reason holds the reins. Spirit is the noble horse, strong but emotional. Appetite is the unruly horse, pulling towards pleasure. And most of the time, the unruly horse wins. Not because reason is wrong, but because reason is outnumbered. This is the first insight. You don't sabotage yourself because you're weak. You sabotage yourself because you're divided. But Plato's explanation leaves something unresolved. It explains the structure. It doesn't explain the pain, the shame, the self-loathing, the sense that part of you is actively working against you. For that, we have to go deeper. Sigmund Freud had a disturbing answer. You sabotage yourself because part of you is afraid of success. Think about when sabotage actually happens. Not at the beginning, not when you're far away. It happens when you're close. About to finish the project, about to succeed, about to be seen. That's when something goes wrong. You miss a deadline you could have met. You say something you didn't need to say. You quit when the end is in sight. Why? Freud says because success is exposure.
If you succeed, people will see you, judge you, expect things from you. And what if you can't live up to it? What if you're not actually that good? What if they find out you're a fraud? Failure after trying your hardest is unbearable. So the mind creates an escape hatch. Self-sabotage. Because if you fail after sabotaging yourself, you have an excuse. I didn't really try. The timing wasn't right. I wasn't feeling it. That excuse protects something fragile, your self-worth. This is the brutal insight. Self-sabotage isn't weakness. It's protection, a defense mechanism against the possibility of discovering beyond all doubt that you might not be enough. So part of you quietly arranges failure, not consciously, not maliciously, but strategically. Better to fail on your own terms than to succeed and be exposed.
Jean-Paul Sartre takes it even further. He says you sabotage yourself because freedom is unbearable. You are radically free. No fixed essence. No predetermined path. Just choices. Endless choices. And that sounds empowering until you feel it. Because if you're free, then you're responsible for what you become, for what you don't become, for every life you didn't live. Failure hurts, but freedom is worse. Failure limits you. Freedom doesn't. If you fail, you can blame circumstances, bad luck, timing, other people. But if you're free, there are no excuses. Sartre called this bad faith. Pretending you're not free. Pretending you had no choice. Self-sabotage is one of the cleanest ways to do that. If you sabotage, you preserve possibility. You get to say, I could have succeeded. I could have been great. That untested potential becomes a comfort, because the moment you fully commit, you collapse possibility into reality. And reality can judge you. So you hesitate, you delay, you sabotage, not because you want to fail, but because failure feels safer than freedom. Now let's bring this into the body.
Not metaphorically, literally. Your brain is divided. On one side, the limbic system. Ancient, emotional, fast. It seeks immediate reward, avoids pain, protects you from risk. It reacts. On the other side, the prefrontal cortex. Recent, rational, slow. This part plans, delays gratification, thinks long-term. But here's the problem. The limbic system is always on. The prefrontal cortex has to be activated. And it gets tired. Every time you resist temptation, every time you choose long-term over short-term, every time you make a hard decision, you drain it. By the end of the day, it's exhausted. And when it shuts down, the ancient system takes over. Not because you're weak, but because you ran out of fuel. This is why sabotage often happens at night, why good intentions collapse under fatigue. Your brain defaults to safety.
There's one more layer: evolution.
For most of human history, taking big risks was dangerous. If you failed publicly, you lost status. If you lost status, you lost protection. Sometimes you died. So, evolution favored caution. Avoid exposure, avoid humiliation, avoid standing out unless success is guaranteed. Self-sabotage in this context is a survival strategy. If you don't try, you can't fail spectacularly. If you sabotage, you stay within the tribe. Your brain is still running that software, but the world has changed. The threat is no longer exile or death. It's judgment, failure, discomfort. The brain doesn't know the difference, so it protects you anyway.
So here's the picture. You're divided. You protect your self-worth. You fear responsibility. Your brain conserves energy. Your instincts are outdated. No wonder you sabotage yourself. The question isn't, why do I do this? The question is, what do I do when I see it happening? And here's the hard truth. You won't stop completely. You'll sabotage again. Tomorrow, next week, next year. Because this isn't a bug. It's part of being human. But something changes when you understand it. You start to notice the moment, that split second before avoidance, before procrastination, before self-destruction. You recognize it. Oh, this is the thing. And sometimes, not always, that awareness creates space. Not to be perfect, but to choose differently. Once, then again, then a little more often. Plato was right. You are divided. Part of you wants to grow. Part of you wants to stay safe. And you can't eliminate either. You can only learn to live with both. You'll fail again. But now you'll know why. And that changes everything. Because the first step to breaking the pattern isn't discipline. It's seeing. So the next time you sabotage yourself, don't ask, what's wrong with me? Ask, which part of me is afraid? And what is it protecting? That question alone is where the real work begins.